Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. Austin the Stash, joined by the one and only Melanie Wilkinson for the week that was.
The week that was. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Good. I'm doing better now.
I'm so glad that you're alive.
Yeah.
I sent you that email that said, I hear your voice. I know you're still alive.
Yep. Absolutely. It was a rough week last week, but so I don't know anything that has happened. At all.
That's what we're here for.
Perfect.
Okay. So maybe we'll learn a little bit.
Yes.
After your absence from the world.
Perfect. Sounds good to me. Let's dive right in. We all know that their hurricanes have smashed through terrible stuff, southeast United States, and there are some local people trying to do some good for them.
Really cool. And we've seen this before with our local FFA chapters and our 4-H clubs years ago when there was severe flooding in Missouri and Iowa and Nebraska. Mm-hmm. They got together and had a convoy of livestock feed semis. I think there were 5 that pulled out on a convoy, and the kids went to places with the flooding and helped build fence and did all kinds of things like that. Mm-hmm. Well, this effort actually started with a company called Riverside Express. It's a trucking company out of McCool Junction.
Okay.
They offered up to haul supplies to certain areas in North Carolina and Tennessee. They have contacts with people there in some churches. And so it's a guarantee that these items won't get caught up in red tape. They will actually get to people who really, really need this. From what I understand, they're going to places where everyone lost everything.
Yeah, which is not a small number of people.
No, and it's terrible. And then with them starting the effort, the 4-H clubs and the FFA chapters said, hey, we want to be involved. They've done this before. They've helped do this. They know how to do this, and they had the right contacts. So, and it's not just the York County FFA chapters. We're talking FFA chapters in McCool, York, Heartland, Centennial, Fillmore Central, and Cross County.
Oh, wow.
So they're out in force. All of these places, all these schools have drop-off locations right now. You can take your items to these schools, and the FFA place, they have places that you can take it. Also, they're going to be filling a semi, for sure one. Knowing this community, it might be more.
Absolutely.
That's going to be on Saturday morning from 10 a.m. until noon at Baumgart's. And so a lot of people, especially older people, they might not want to haul around goods and things like that. They can just show up with cash if they want. And then the volunteers from the 4-H clubs and FFA, they will go ahead and use that money and purchase items that they're maybe lacking.
Very nice.
Now, are you ready for the list?
Yes, please.
Okay, and it's a long list, and I jotted down as much as I could when I was talking with Amy Pohl. She's a leader from the Lively Livestock 4-H Club over in Benedict, and so these people need a lot of things. So let's get started. They need generators, anything that's solar powered. Meaning lights, radios, anything that they can run off of solar. Tents, tarps, gas cans, inverters, battery packs, tire patches, safety gear, gloves, shovels, dehumidifiers, blankets, bottled water, non-perishable food, and don't forget the can openers.
Oh, yes, of course.
Because canned goods with no way to open them don't do anything.
Not very useful.
Good. They need baby formula, diapers, warm clothes, because I guess it's getting cold there now.
Sure.
Toiletries, kids' clothes and toys, sleeping bags, paper towels, toilet paper, Kleenex, Band-Aids, blankets, pillows, cleaning supplies, individual snacks, towels, soap, shampoo, propane tanks. I wouldn't have thought of that.
Yeah.
Gas cans, matches, charcoal grills, pet food and supplies, and then they also need livestock supplies. That's a big need. Heavy trash bags, tarps, mud boots, shoes, bleach, flashlights, long underwear, socks, horse and livestock feed and hay. And then, of course, they need like paper plates,
Sure.
Plastic silverware, cups, that
trash
type
bags,
of thing.
I would imagine.
Yes. All of these items are badly needed, and everyone is asked to please come out. You can, like I said, you can go to the schools and dump them off now, and the kids will haul it all in on Saturday. Mm-hmm. Let's fill the truck.
Yeah, let's fill the truck. Let's fill 2 or 3 if we can.
And I understand that can be a possibility. And a big shout out to the Riverside Express, because they've taken this on their own expense, that they will take all of this and deliver it to the places, specific places where it needs to go.
That's fantastic.
It's a really positive thing. And I think it needs to be said how wonderful it is when you see our young people. You know, people like to say, oh, the next generation, this and that.
These kids, these hooligans, I tell you what, they're just playing their video games and listening to their rap music.
Well, they're not. They're these kids, and they are dedicated, and they have good hearts. And I think that they're a great example of maybe our world is going to be okay.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Maybe it is.
It could.
They're grown up. They're going to take care of us when we get old. So
hopefully.
I know. But meanwhile, and it sounds like now today we're going to see more hurricane damage down in Florida. So
supposed to make landfall tonight.
I think so.
I've got lots of friends.
You are from there. Or you live there.
Yeah, I lived there for 4 years. Lived through one real bad hurricane, Hurricane Irma.
Really?
And it was, luckily for us, we were in a brand new apartment complex, so everything was made out of like concrete, and it was totally safe for us to be there.
So you could stay and weather it out.
Stay and weather it out. I have a lot of friends. You know, the interesting thing about this situation, along with it being a second hurricane coming through.
Right.
So the first hurricane, a lot of people, like if there was water in their house, threw away all of their furniture and whatnot, right? Because insurance company comes in and says, all right, it's all clear. Here's your check, whatever. And they throw everything out. Well, it's just far enough along that everyone's throwing their stuff out, but it hasn't been taken anywhere. So now there's a lot of projectiles that the hurricane can now scoop up and throw around. So that's part of the reason why this hurricane is expected to be worse, not just because it's bigger, but also because there's a lot more stuff out there.
I hadn't even thought of that part.
Yeah. And so, lots of friends down there. The other part of it is a lot of people are like, well, just leave, right? Well, you can't necessarily. Like you leave, and all of a sudden you're stuck on I-4 with everyone trying to get out at the same time. There are no hotels available. It is a rough situation.
It is, and I saw that this morning where some people said they were terrified of being stuck on an interstate and not having anything anywhere to go.
You know, from her, this is a horribly sad story, but when we went through Hurricane Irma, my wife this was her first year teaching, and she had a student pass away because they were driving on the interstate and got caught like in the storm.
And one of her kids passed away
from that. And so like it's just, hurricanes are devastating, and People kind of make fun of hurricanes because it's like, well, we knew it's been coming for 4 weeks at this point. Imagine what they would do with a tornado. It is so devastating when a hurricane comes through. And so anything that York and these kids are doing to send that way, like, it's incredible.
It is incredible. And they're really going to make a real impact on some people's lives. People
Absolutely.
that they don't even know.
Yeah. They may never know. They may never find out who these people were.
But we can, and if you donate items, you're making a difference too.
Absolutely, 100%. So Bomgars on Saturday.
Saturday from 10 a.m. until noon.
Okay. And what's the company that is
the company in McCool? It's Riverside Express Trucking Company.
Very good. Big shout out to them.
Big shout out to them.
Absolutely. All right, lighten the mood a little bit.
Well, it was an important thing to jump out with.
It was a very important thing that people need to know about. The other thing, some lighter news that is happening, that I am a big gym goer. I go every Sunday and bench press heavy with a buddy of mine, and now the York County Sheriff's Department has a new gym. It is finished.
They do. And it is a trend right now in the last few years where a lot of law enforcement agencies, fire departments have workout areas in their facilities. Well, because their people have to stay healthy. Also, it helps build camaraderie, and they also can spend some time, especially like the night shift people. If you're in between calls and that type of thing, this gives them a way to spend that time. But also, I understand too, a lot of the people that work at the night shifts, even when they have the night off, they can't go to sleep. They have to keep their schedule together so they can go there, work out at 3 o'clock in the morning if they want, even if they're not working.
Yeah.
So what I think is fabulous about this whole thing is that the expense of this is not on the taxpayers whatsoever.
Really?
It's on the backs of the drug dealers.
All right. Now we're talking.
Yes. So the drug traffickers hauling the stuff down I-80 and all over, they're the ones that are paying for this.
Okay.
Through federal drug seizure money.
Okay.
So the county has a fund where the federal government, after they process things that were used in the trafficking vehicles that were seized, cash, that type of thing, then
they're reselling the drugs. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't know about
I don't think they're doing that.
I've always wondered. I don't think they're reselling the drugs, no, but other things of value, their assets, if you will, that they're using to conduct their illicit business.
Right.
So that money sits in this fund, and it can be used for these types of things. So they accessed $40,000.
Nice.
Out of that. That fund.
Let me tell you, as a guy who has tried to either open a gym or just get a home gym, $40,000 goes a long ways.
And that equipment is state of the art. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And the space, this is what's genius too, is that it's down in the basement of the courthouse, and the courthouse is very full of offices. There's not
room.
lick of space.
Yeah.
Well, there was this corner area down there that was basically storage for the Veterans Service Office, and I think the Treasurer's Office had some things in there. So the deputies started looking around, and they thought, we could move this stuff over to a different area. Then Nick from Veterans Service Office and the Treasurer's Department also said, well, you know what? We can go in there too and see if all of these items really are necessary.
Yeah.
Sorted through it. Moved the stuff out. County commissioners gave their blessing. They said, go ahead.
Nice.
They moved it out, took down a wall. And amazingly, this is a really big space. Now, $12,000 was spent on the flooring and the paint and the lighting. But
how else are you supposed to post on Instagram that you went and got a 3 a.m. pump session in?
But the thing is that the county was already in the process of doing this flooring project throughout the whole courthouse.
Sure.
Using ARPA funds. So this is just another part of that project. So taxpayers are paying nothing.
Perfect.
The sheriff's department, the deputies did all the painting themselves on their own time.
Really?
Yeah, and the reconfiguring of moving this stuff out, and because there was county money of some sort used, all of the county employees can use it.
Nice.
So it's a secured area. You can only get in with the keypad, but it is available to everyone that works for the county.
Very nice.
All hours of the day or night.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So they somehow found a way to take this really weird space and they turned it into something that they can use for years. But what's kind of ironic, when that courthouse was built back in the 1980s, and you look at the design, I guess, this is what Josh Gillespie was telling me, that area was already dedicated to be a gym.
Really?
They didn't know that. Now, Paul Vodka, who's our sheriff, he's been with the department so long. he was there in the 1980s
right.
as a deputy. And he said he does remember where they would bring their own weights from home.
Really?
And
That's wild.
And they crouched down in this little corner of this little room, and they would do that stuff down there then. So now they're just saying they're just rededicating the space.
I love it. I love it. That's incredible.
And again, all on the backs of the drug dealers.
That's right. No taxpayer money there.
No.
I love that. Then I also see that the York High School Hall of Fame inductees have been announced.
They have, and they're selling tickets for that event. Okay, so every year, the York Public Schools Foundation has this Hall of Fame induction, and it's also a fundraiser for the foundation.
Sure, makes sense.
Yeah, and so they induct, usually it's 2 people, sometimes 3, each year, and these are their alumni from York High School. This year, the inductees are the late Dana Hanna. He was a 1969 graduate of York High School. His story is super interesting. He became an attorney, was a high-powered attorney in New York City, but the bulk of his career was found in South Dakota. And there he worked to protect civil rights of the Native American tribes. Oh. He has had an extensive career in working to protect land rights within the schools, all types of different things. He was known throughout the nation for his civil rights work. He passed away earlier this year. So it's very fitting that they're going to be honoring him. And the other inductee is going to be Don Keelan White. He's a 1966 graduate. If you went to York High School, which neither one of us did, he probably taught you in some form or other.
Gotcha.
He was at York High School as a teacher for 40 years.
Wow.
He taught English, speech, and drama. So most people, if they, like I said, a lot of people, I already knew who Don Keelan White was because of all the many years that he was involved with, like the Yorkshire Playhouse and their fine arts program at the high school.
Sure.
So anyway, he taught English. He taught those things for 4 decades here. And then when he retired, I guess he must have been bored, so he moved to China and taught English.
What?
I know. And then he came back to the United States, and now he lives in Omaha, where he's heavily involved with the Omaha Community Theater as an actor.
Really?
Yeah.
Whoa.
So,
that's wild.
I know.
You know, what's really funny is I listened to a couple of like entrepreneur guys on like Instagram or whatever. And one thing that they say, Gary V is his name. And he always talks about how it's never too late to do something new. So say you've been in your career since say that you're 45 years old. You've been at the same job since you were 20, 25 years, right?
That would have been me. Yeah.
25 years, been at the same job. Well, guess what? At 45, you still have another 30-year career ahead of you.
You do.
And so the idea that this guy went 40 years teaching and was like, you know what?
I'm going to go to China.
I got other things I'm going to go to China. And then he went to China. Now he's in Omaha. And it's like, that's cool.
And he's a stage actor.
That's incredible.
So yeah, both individuals have had very, very interesting and profound, like impactful lives on people. So
yeah. It's alums of York High School.
Alums of York High School. So the thing is, you need to get your tickets now. Mm-hmm. Information's on the website where you can see who to contact, how to purchase those. I think the deadline for purchasing those is November 1st.
So a little less than a month.
Yeah, and the event's on November 8th. So you just need to contact somebody with the Friends of the York Public Schools Foundation.
There you go. Very nice. A lot of stuff happening this week.
Good vibes only this week.
Good vibes only.
Well, I'm just looking at your shirt.
That's right.
The vibes are great.
The vibes are great here on the week.
All positive this week.
That's right. The week that was. Be sure to follow on Melanie's website, justmelaniew.com.
Thank you.
For all of the news that is fit to print here in York County.
Thank you.
That's the week that was. Melanie, I'll see you next week.
I'll see you then.